Coming up next on Middle Tennessee News, a local Confederate monument was vandalized in Murfreesboro. Find out what the city is doing about it.
A local hemp business explains how their product is beneficial.
And we're going to take a look at the MTSU versus UAB game.
All those stories plus your latest weather. Middle Tennessee News starts right now.
Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm Kristen Allen.
And I'm Eric Woolworth. Welcome to Middle Tennessee News.
Murfreesboro police responded to a vandalism incident late last night at the historic downtown square. According to police, the Confederate statue near the courthouse was vandalized around 10:30 p.m. by someone in a light-colored trench coat. The words "murderer" and "coward" and other markings were spray painted in pink on the statue. The Rutherford County Sheriff's Department is taking over this investigation.
The Murfreesboro Fire Rescue Department is welcoming 25 trainees. Last year, the department was awarded a $2.8 million staffing for adequate fire and rescue emergency response, or SAFER grant, which is helping the department reach the National Fire Protection Association staffing standard. Training will begin on April 8th, and the new hires plan on graduating on the rookie school on June 14th.
Well, in the medical industry, there's been an ever-growing buzz around hemp. And in Murfreesboro, that buzz has taken off.
Despite the buzz surrounding the hemp industry, there have been some eyebrows raised about what the product actually is and does.
Due to the fact that it looks exactly the same as that marijuana plant. Whether it looks exactly the same, smells exactly the same, or tastes exactly the same, both of them are pretty much incompatible.
There are a variety of ailments and disabilities that it can be used for.
I have one person that comes in and uses it for their leukemia. I have another lady that uses it for her Crohn's disease. So instead of them having to go back and revert to medications that compromises their abilities throughout the day.
During his college football days, Mr. Miller blew out his shoulder while bench pressing. 20 years later, he still feels the pain.
I actually had a shoulder injury in college. It was giving me trouble here in later life, and just kind of it would just flare up basically and just hurt, and couldn't raise your hand or your arm above your head or anything.
Not only does hemp reduce pain, it can also help save lives.
Arterial inflammation is the #1 killer in the nation. Heart disease, heart attacks, strokes are all due to arterial inflammation. CBD has been linked to reducing arterial inflammation.
Even with all the benefits that hemp provides, it also can cause some trouble. Public Information Officer Larry Flowers discusses how law enforcement deals with hemp products.
This for our officers and even our narcotic detectives who are trying to make an educated decision in the field whenever they make a traffic stop or they encounter someone with hemp-based products.
With the growth of the hemp industry here in Murfreesboro, people have a healthier legal alternative to dealing with the pain and other ailments. With Middle Tennessee News, this is Jimmy Covington.
That was Jimmy Covington reporting for us.
A medical resident at East Tennessee State University was among the 157 people killed in the Ethiopian airline flight crash on Sunday. As John Engel reports, the Quillian College of Medicine in Johnson City is trying to cope with the loss of a great colleague and friend.
See that kind of person who is friendly to everyone.
Dr. Utsa Panta is the second-year internal medicine resident himself, who has been a close friend to Dr. Manisha Nukavarapu since the two interviewed together years ago.
I was working with her till Friday. She left to Kenya on Saturday. So on Friday evening, we had this last clinic duty, and we waved goodbye to her, and she was like, okay, I'm going to have a greatest vacation ever, and she waved goodbye. I did not know it would be the last goodbye.
Dr. Nukavarapu has been talking about this trip for weeks. She was excited to see her sister in Kenya, who had just given birth to triplet boys. She was known for being friendly to everyone and being someone who could draw the entire group of residents together.
I wish I could have made a better goodbye had I known about this, but that's one thing I regret. I could have spent more time with her as a friend, but nothing can come back. That's the bitter truth.
For those who knew her closely from the college where she was doing her residency, the loss of Dr. Nukavarapu is hard to fathom and equally painful because of her talent and opportunity as a physician.
She was a very intelligent physician, a very good doctor, but she was so easy to work with. Every single time she came to my office to talk to my staff and myself, she always had a big smile on her face. So I think I'll miss that big smile most of all.
Physicians are forced to deal with tragedy all the time and have an obligation to move on. This time, it was different.
But I think it's different when your friend who was perfectly healthy, you didn't expect anything, and you are very close to her, and all of a sudden she's not with you. It's very hard to deal with.
The ETSU College of Medicine met with medical residents about the death this morning and will provide grief counselors. They're also seeking ways to memorialize Nukavaro.
According to the Associated Press, Hollywood actresses Felicity Huffman and Lori Loughlin were among dozens indicted Tuesday on college admissions and testing fraud charges. At least 49 parents and coaches were charged in the scheme. According to prosecutors, wealthy parents paid William Singer, the founder of a college prep firm, to help their children cheat on college entrance exams, like the SAT and the ACT. Some of those charged are accused of falsifying athletic records to secure admissions to universities like UCLA, USC, Stanford, Yale, and Georgetown. For now, the actresses are out on bail and are expected to return to court later this month.
Well, I know we've been having some pretty decent weather today. I know today felt pretty good.
Yes, it's wonderful outside. Trenton, what's it look like out there right now?
Oh, it's sunny out there right now. It feels great. A lot of sunshine, not too much wind. Today, I don't know about you guys, but I rode today with the windows down, the music volume all the way up. I wouldn't wash your car today, though. Might be some rain coming. Today, though, it's 73 degrees outside. Humidity is 41%. Wind is 17 miles per hour. And that'll be all for today's forecast. Now coming up, we'll take a look at the 5-day forecast. Now let's send it back to Eric and Kristen.
Still ahead on Middle Tennessee News, we'll see what you can do about the St. Patrick's Day holiday.
And we'll take a look at the situation in Brazil. That's coming up next on Middle Tennessee News.
Sculpting the perfect body takes time. Quitting smoking does too. But with a little help, you can do it. Get the resources and support you need to quit smoking from the American Cancer Society at cancer.org/smokeout.
Hannah is bright, talented, and she's been so brave. Hannah complained of a headache. It was a rhabdomyosarcoma. Within a few days, Hannah was in treatment because we were told that the tumor was very aggressive. So we've essentially put our lives in South Africa on hold. Incredibly blessed to be here. St. Jude is an asset to the world. The research that is developed here is offered freely to the rest of the medical world. The entire way that the place operates is just to give and to care. I think it's the kind of place that not only stands as a beacon for pediatric cancer, but I think it could teach the world a couple of lessons about how to treat people. And I think if those lessons could be learned, even in their most basic form, this world could be a better place.
Repeat after me. Apple, table, penny.
Apple, bread.
I remember watching Dad with the kids and thinking, geez, in 6 years, will he even know who they are?
Ask me again.
1 in 10 Americans over 65 has Alzheimer's disease. Learn more today at brightfocus.org.
What does it look like when a life is truly changed?
I feel a sense of accomplishment because I built a house. This house has brought us financial independence.
Every family dreams to have their own house. This house changed our lives.
Habitat for Humanity is at work in your community and around the world. Through shelter, we empower.
This Sunday is St. Patrick's Day, and Murfreesboro is having a few events that you might be interested in. The St. Baldrick Foundation is having their event where you can shave your head in support of childhood cancer research. The Kittrell Elementary School is hosting their Shamrock and Shindig, and also the Walnut House will be playing some traditional Celtic music starting around 8. I know it's wild. A majority of the events are on Saturday, though, so for more information, you can visit the Murfreesboro website for times and dates.
Well, several are dead this morning, including 5 children after a school shooting in Brazil. 2 teenagers wearing hoods entered the grade school in São Paulo and began opening fire. As of now, there are at least 5 children and 1 teacher dead. We'll keep you updated as we hear more about that story.
The Patterson Community Center gathered many local businesses on Sunday. The Women's Expo held by the Echo Movement inspired many women in the community with small local businesses to show up and get involved. Brittany Fowler, the leader of the event, is motivated by her kids and was looking for a way to give back.
Well, the Echo Movement is a nonprofit that caters to the youth aged 10 to 21. And ECHO stands for Empowering Change and Humanity Overall. It's basically trying to teach the youth how to live structured and successful lifestyles. We reach out to the mothers once a month because we know that we need to target the parents before we get to the children, because 9 times out of 10 the problem is at home. It starts with the source.
There will even be their next event will be a kickboxing class on April 14th at the Rockbox Fitness at 2 p.m.
Well, from sinkholes to flooding, the state of Tennessee is really feeling the effects of this historic rainfall. The rain's also been affecting the housing market here in Middle Tennessee. Studio M reporter Joseph Choi spoke with a real estate agent to explain how flooding and real estate correlate.
Flooding, like we've recently experienced, disrupts our lives in so many ways. It lengthens our commutes, damages our property, and it may even affect the housing market here in Middle Tennessee. We spoke with veteran real estate agent Jonathan Harmon, who says a small line on a map can have a major effect on pricing and affordability.
You get a house that was not in a flood zone before and now it's labeled with a flood zone. It does stigmatize the property. It drives the value of that specific property down because from that point until infinity, until they redraw that map, a lender's going to require that somebody carry flood insurance on that property. Flood insurance can range anywhere from a couple $100 a year to up to about $3,000 a year, and that's substantial.
Flood zones are determined by FEMA based on past events like the 2010 flood. But according to Harmon, that may not always be reliable, and our boom in real estate development may be to blame.
Any time that you have a lot of development in an area, and then you have a flood type event, you're gonna see new things happen because you're pushing dirt around, right? And when you push the dirt around over here and it floods in this whole area, then the dirt that you moved over here affects over here. Which way does it flow? Where does it collect, right? And so as long as we keep seeing development, that's a pardon the pun, but that's a fluid thing as far as what's gonna flood.
For Studio M, I'm Joseph Choi.
I know Trent mentioned earlier it's going to be in the 70s like it is right now, but I don't know, maybe tonight it can continue?
I hope it stays like this forever. I'm so sick of the cold weather. Trenton, what's it looking like tonight?
Well, it'll be a little bit different tonight, not too much change. Let's see here. It'll be partly cloudy with a low of 63 degrees. Humidity will be 41%. The wind will be 25 miles per hour. So a lot of wind coming through, but it'll still feel good outside. Now let's take it back to Eric and Kristen.
Thanks, Trenton. Coming up after the break, Trenton Gray will be back with us, and we'll be taking more of a longer look at how the weather's going to be, and also later on he's going to give us a little bit of news on what's going on in the sports world. Thank you, and stay tuned.
Turn off your lights for Earth Hour. Turn off your lights for Earth Hour. For our forests, our rivers, our oceans, our wildlife, and for our climate. For our Earth. Earth Hour, March 30th, 2019.
Your zip code. Just one number different, and you might have a whole other life. Different school, different job, different dreams, different problems. In America, the zip code you're born in can determine your future. The Y works to change that, with programs and services that help everyone thrive, no matter who you are or where you're from. For a better us, support your local Y today.
Breast cancer kills more than 41,000 people each year in the U.S. alone. That's unacceptable. That's why by 2026, Susan G. Komen will cut the number of breast cancer deaths in half. We'll get there by helping those who can't pay for treatments, by funding breakthroughs in research that save lives, by ensuring that all people receive the care they need. We'll get there, but only with your help. So, are you in?
My mother used to say a long time ago, whenever there would be any catastrophe that was on the air, she would say, always look for the helpers. Because if you look for the helpers, you'll know that there's hope.
Well, Trenton warned us a little bit earlier we don't need to wash our cars today. Trenton, why is that?
Take a full look at the weather. You'll see that, yes, it's sunny today, but that won't last. It's 73 today with 41% humidity, with a wind at 17 miles per hour. But tonight it will be partly cloudy with a low of 63. Humidity will be 41%, and the wind will be 25 miles per hour. Now let's look at the 5-day forecast. It'll be sunny today, but rainy tomorrow, as the high will be 72, the low will be 45. Friday will be sunny, Saturday will be sunny, Sunday will be cloudy, so it's looking good for that part of the week, but tomorrow it will rain. Now, let's send it back to Eric and Kristen.
Thanks, Trin. Actually, we'll be coming back to you after this break. You'll be doing a little double dipping since you've been doing weather, and you also will be covering what's been going on in sports. So please stay tuned.
Turn off your lights for Earth Hour. For our forests, our rivers, our oceans, our wildlife, and for our climate. For our Earth. Earth Hour, March 30th, 2019.
Your zip code. Just one number different, and you might have a whole other life. Different school, different job, different dreams, different problems. In America, the zip code you're born in can determine your future. The Y works to change that, with programs and services that help everyone thrive, no matter who you are or where you're from. For a better us, support your local Y today.
Breast cancer kills more than 41,000 people each year in the U.S. alone. That's unacceptable. That's why by 2026, Susan G. Komen will cut the number of breast cancer deaths in half. We'll get there by helping those who can't pay for treatments, by funding breakthroughs in research that save lives, by ensuring that all people receive the care they need. We'll get there, but only with your help. So, are you in?
My mother used to say a long time ago, whenever there would be any catastrophe that was on the air, she would say, always look for the helpers. Because if you look for the helpers, you'll know that there's hope.
MTSU Blue Raiders kick off the Conference USA tournament tonight against UAB. UAB beat the #1 seed in the tournament, Old Dominion, to finish off their regular season. In the 2 games against UAB, the Raiders beat them by a combined 7 points. In the last game, they played UAB. UAB was up 10 at the half. The Raiders picked it up in the second half. They shot almost 75% from the field. They shot almost 55% from 3 as well in that half. Sims and Scurry combined to shoot 12 of 15 from the field overall. Sims hit the game-winning free throws, and Green led the way with 28 points. If the first 2 games are any indication, tonight's game should be a close one. The Raiders need this win and need to win the tournament to make it to the big dance. Green was named to the All-Conference third team a few days ago. Now, Green has been named the Conference Newcomer of the Year. This award goes to the conference's best transfer in this first season, Queen Hayes of the Lady Raiders and Alex Johnson of the Lady Raiders. Both made all-conference teams, while Taylor Sutton made the all-freshman team. The TSSAA basketball tournament begins today at the Murphy Center. A few games have already taken place. There will be more to come today and tomorrow. There will be 6 games today and tomorrow. Oakland plays Brentwood tomorrow in the morning. The tournament will end on the 16th. That's when the 3 championship games will be played. Selection Sunday is this Sunday. This week's games will play a big factor in who makes it to the tournament. This is Joe Lenari's prediction of what the tournament will look like. Virginia, North Carolina, Gonzaga, and Kentucky are the #1 seeds in his bracket. Tennessee and Duke are both 2 seeds. It will be interesting to see how the selection committee views Duke, with Zion Williamson likely to return. I wouldn't be surprised if if the predictions change before Selection Sunday. The NFL has been still in all the spotlight this week. The Ravens have added some new additions. They've added Mark Ingram. They've lost C.J. Mosley, but they've added a few more additions. Odell Beckham has went to the Browns. The Browns might be pretty good this year. But let's send it back to Kristen and Eric.
Well, we want to thank you for joining us this evening here at Middle Tennessee News. I'm Kristen Allen.
And I'm Eric Worth. If you missed this or any of our shows, you can watch them on our website, MiddleTennesseeNews.net. We'll see you tomorrow.